Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're tackling a real paradox, a place that's stunningly beautiful, like unbelievably pristine.
But also incredibly deadly. One of the most mysterious spots on Earth, really.
Exactly. We're talking about the Nahanni Valley in Canada's Northwest Territories. It's this massive 11,000 square mile chunk of wilderness, but most people know it by its other name.
Yeah, the chilling one, the Headless Valley.
Gives you chills just saying it.
It does. And to get why it's so menacing, you need to grasp the scale first. The Northwest Territories are huge. Think 4 times the size of Germany.
Wow.
But the population, tiny. Maybe 50,000 people in that whole area.
Yeah.
It's pure, untamed wilderness, dense forests, enormous mountains, powerful rivers, and it's dangerous.
And getting there, well, you can't just drive in, right? There are basically no roads.
None. No roads into the Nahanni National Park Reserve itself. Your options are specialized planes, boats navigating some really treacherous rivers, or, a seriously tough hike overland.
So it's the kind of place where if something goes wrong,
You're truly on your own. It's nature at its most raw and its most unforgiving.
So our mission, our deep dives today, is to figure out how this beautiful isolated valley got this terrifying reputation. We're talking decades of, well, mysterious deaths, disappearances.
And the decapitations. Multiple confirmed cases.
Right. So we'll start with the old stories, the folklore, and then look at the real-life horror stories that started cropping up, making those old myths seem disturbingly real.
And the fear goes way back, like 10,000 years back. Indigenous tribes, they actively avoided the Nahanni Valley, or they fled from it. It was seen as cursed.
Cursed how?
Well, there are stories. Take the Naha tribe. They lived there and then, poof, vanished, like overnight.
Vanished completely.
Completely. Left their shelters, their supplies, everything, just gone. No trace.
Okay, that's unsettling.
And other tribes who left, they told stories about being stalked, terrorized even, by things in the forest.
Things like what?
They called them white demons, or sometimes these huge, aggressive wolves they named wahilas in the descriptions. Sometimes they sounded almost bipedal, intelligent. Not your average wolf.
White demons and giant wolves.
Yeah.
Sounds like classic spooky folklore.
It does, until the early 1900s. That's when things started happening. Real events. Horrifying ones. And suddenly, that folklore didn't seem so mythical anymore.
And this is where the gold comes in.
Yep. Gold fever. The idea was, because everyone avoided the valley, there must be untouched riches.
Yeah.
Enter the McLeod brothers. Willie, Frank, and Charlie. This was 1904.
They head to the Flat River, which you mentioned isn't exactly flat.
No, not at all. It's often more like a raging rapid, ironically named, to say the least.
So did they find anything?
Oh, yeah. They hit the jackpot, found apparently tons of gold, but the river got them.
The Flat River?
Yep. On their way back, their boat capsized, broke up, they lost most of their gear, and crucially, all that gold sank right to the bottom.
Oh, devastating. What did they do?
They salvaged what they could, rebuilt a boat, searched around some more, but found nothing else. Charlie, the oldest, he'd had enough. He went home.
But Willie and Frank? They weren't done.
Not a chance. In 1905, they went back. This time they brought another guy, Robert Weir. And crucially, they didn't tell anyone how long they'd be gone.
Uh-oh. That's usually not a good sign in these stories.
Exactly. Weeks passed, then months. A whole year. Charlie wasn't too worried at first. They were experienced guys. But after 2 full years, complete silence.
Yeah. Okay, tell me where...
Right. So in 1907, Charlie put together a search party. 5 guys. A tough journey ahead of them.
Back up the Flat River, I assume.
Up the Flat, then downstream onto the bigger South Nahanni River. And after a turn called the Big Bend, they entered this place called Second Canyon, a 10-mile stretch.
And Second Canyon sounds ominous.
It is. Picture sheer cliffs, rock walls shooting straight up, sometimes 3,000 feet high. The river below, thousands of feet deep in places. Almost no shoreline. You're just trapped between these massive looming walls.
Claustrophobic.
Totally. And high up on those cliffs, Charlie's party saw openings. Caves. Huge, dark, unexplored cave systems. They said it was dark down in the canyon, windy, and they felt watched, like something was up there in those caves, just observing them.
Creepy, super creepy.
And then, just as they were about to exit Second Canyon, they spotted it on a tiny patch of shore. A tent.
Oh no, please don't say.
Yeah. Outside the tent, a body, badly charred, headless. Its arm was stretched out, reaching for a rifle propped against a tree, just out of reach.
Headless. Oh God. And inside?
Inside, under a blanket, another body, badly decomposed this time, also headless.
Let me guess. Willie and Frank.
Their belongings confirmed it. Willie and Frank McLeod, their heads were just gone, never found. Robert Weir, missing entirely. Though maybe a partial skeleton found later downstream was him, but it was never confirmed.
And the gold. Did they find the gold?
Here's the sick twist. They found a carving on a tree nearby. It said, "We have found a fine prospect."
So they did find gold again.
Apparently. But there was none at the camp. Not a speck. It was gone too.
So, headless bodies, missing gold, a missing third man. What did the police say?
Well, Charlie and his crew contacted the mounted police, of course. They investigated, and their official conclusion, well, it's something.
Let me hear it.
Official ruling: Willie, Frank, and Robert Weir all starved to death.
Starved? Wait, they just carved. We found a fine prospect. How do you starve right after finding gold?
Good question. And the decapitations. Animals. The police said animals scavenged the bodies and removed the skulls. The charring. Oh, that was just an accidental campfire.
Animals removed the entire skulls. Cleanly? That sounds convenient and unlikely.
Extremely unlikely. Charlie didn't buy it for a second, and neither did the public.
Yeah.
Think about one guy reaching for a gun. The other looks like he maybe jumped out of his sleeping bag. That sounds like an attack, right? A violent, sudden attack.
Absolutely. Not like slowly starving and then conveniently losing your head to a wolf.
Right. And forensic experts will tell you clean decapitation like that, where the whole skull is gone from the spine. That's usually not animals. Animals tear, they scatter. That clean removal often suggests, well, a tool, a human action.
And the fire. Covering tracks, maybe?
Makes you wonder, doesn't it? The police story just didn't line up with the scene. People started speculating. Maybe local tribes attacked them, or
Yeah.
maybe Robert Weir killed them for the gold and vanished.
So many theories, but the result was the same.
Fear, absolute terror. And that specific stretch of river in Second Canyon, it got a new name on the maps. Officially.
Headless Valley.
Headless Valley. And the horror, sadly, it didn't end there. Not by a long shot.
So the police ruling didn't exactly calm things down.
Not at all. Just 8 years later, in 1913, another prospector, Martin Dorganson, he figured maybe the risk was worth the reward. Built cabin about 70 miles upstream from Headless Valley. Sent word out.
Don't tell me struck it rich.
You guessed it, struck it rich. But when his partner showed up the next summer to meet him,
Burned cabin.
torched right down to the foundation and next to the embers, Jorgenson's body. Burned and headless.
Wait, again.
Again. And the gold he wrote about, gone.
What did the police say this time? Surely they saw a pattern.
Officially, nope. Denied any connection to the McLeods. Said it was, again, animals taking the skull after death, despite this being the third decapitation linked to fire and missing gold in the same tiny area in less than 10 years.
The public must have been convinced there was a killer out there.
Oh, absolutely. Someone killing for gold. But then, the deaths got weirder. Things that didn't fit the simple murder for gold theory.
Weirder how?
1921. John O'Brien, another prospector, he and his partner were camped right in Headless Valley. O'Brien goes to check traps, doesn't come back. His partner finds him.
Dead. Thousands.
Frozen solid, which, okay, it's the Northwest Territories, freezing happens. But the way he was found,
What was strange about it?
he was sitting calmly by a campfire that had clearly just been lit. He was still holding a matchbook. And his expression, peaceful, serene. Witnesses said he looked flash frozen, no sign of struggle, no pain, no fear.
Flash frozen. Holding a matchbook. How does that even happen? Freezing to death is supposed to be agonizing.
Exactly. How do you freeze so fast, so peacefully, you don't even drop the matches you just used? It just didn't make sense. Defied explanation.
Okay, that is weird. Moving beyond just murder.
And then, 1926, Annie Lafferty. This one ties back to that ancient folklore we talked about. She was part of a hunting party camped in Headless Valley. She just vanished from the camp.
Vanished. Like the Naha tribe.
Well, she wasn't found. But months later, someone else in the area reported seeing something bizarre. A white woman, completely naked, running on all fours, scrambling up a steep mountainside, knocking rocks loose.
Naked, on all fours.
Yeah. He said he got a look at her face when she paused and turned back. He described it as possessed.
Okay, now we're definitely back in that white demon territory. That's incredibly disturbing. A modern sighting echoing ancient myths.
Right. A supposedly normal woman, miles from anywhere, naked, feral, looking possessed. It absolutely terrified people. Made them think maybe something else was out there. Something not human.
So we've got decapitations, flash freezing, feral women. What next?
The burning cabins came back. 1931. Phil Powers, prospector. His cabin burned down. He was inside.
Another accident.
That's what the police said. Stovepipe accident. But here's the thing. His skeleton was found intact inside, yes, but investigators determined the fire started on the roof.
On the roof, so he would have had time.
Plenty of time to get out before the flames engulfed the inside, you'd think, unless
But he was already dead before the fire started.
Right.
Maybe placed there.
That was the immediate suspicion. Another convenient accident.
This pattern is relentless. What happened after Powers?
5 years later, 1936. More disappearances. William Epler and Joseph Mulholland went into the valley, never came out. Search party found their cabin.
Burned down.
Burned to the ground. But unlike Powers, their bodies weren't inside. They were just gone. Vanished completely.
So fire again, but this time no bodies at all.
And then the decapitations return one last time in the records we have. 1945, Ernest Savard, another prospector, found along the Flat River in his sleeping bag.
Headless.
Headless.
And the police verdict, let me guess. Starvation, hypothermia, animals.
Bingo. Same exact explanation. Starvation or exposure, then animals took the head. After 3 confirmed decapitations, multiple burnings, weird freezings, disappearances, they stuck to the same story. It's almost willfully blind.
It really is baffling. Did anything happen after Savard?
Well, the nature of the reports shifted slightly and maybe solidified the valley's truly sinister vibe. This was in 1946. They were searching for another missing miner, John Patterson.
Okay. What happened during the search?
The search party set up camp near the Flat River. Some local Dean tribesmen actually approached their camp, warned them.
Warn them about what?
About white figures. Said they'd seen these white figures walking near the river in the forest edge. Then the tribesmen just left.
White figures.
Yeah.
Like the white demons from the old lore.
Sounds eerily similar, doesn't it? And that night, the search party didn't see anything, but they heard things. All night long. Distant howls, screams, weird wailing sounds coming from all directions around their camp.
Not like random animal noises.
The leader didn't think so. He said they hadn't heard anything like it the nights before. It felt targeted, intentional, like something was actively trying to scare them away.
Wow.
He packed up his team the next morning, said the whole valley just felt totally sinister, like it wanted them gone.
And since then? Have things calmed down?
Reported incidents, like deaths and disappearances, have dropped off significantly since the mid-1940s, but that might just be because fewer people dare to go in there now.
Makes sense. Who would risk it?
Exactly. But there's a modern twist, too. Even today, large sections of the Nahanni National Park Reserve are permanently closed off to the public, completely restricted access. Officially. The Park Service says it's for wilderness protection, ecological preservation.
But given the history?
People speculate, especially since some of the closed areas are suspiciously near Headless Valley. The theory, or maybe the fear, is that they're not just protecting the wilderness, they're protecting people from whatever might still be lurking there.
So it really leaves you hanging, doesn't it? This huge question mark.
It does. You're left with 2 starkly different possibilities.
Option 1, the official story. This is just a super remote, dangerous place. Bad luck piles up. Prospectors get desperate, maybe turn on each other like Robert Weir might have. Predators are opportunistic. It leads to a weird, grim pattern of death-charred bodies, missing heads, freezing, fires. Just tragic coincidences amplified by the isolation.
Right. That's the rational, if slightly strained, explanation.
Option 2. You listen to the public, the tribes, the witnesses over the decades. They suggest something else is going on, a deliberate, sinister force. Maybe a human killer who's incredibly adept at covering their tracks for decades.
Right.
Or maybe something else.
Something like those white demons, the Wahilas. Something ancient, perhaps supernatural, guarding the valley and its secrets, protecting that gold.
It sounds outlandish, but when you line up the facts...
Dozens of people dead or vanished. Bizarre circumstances. Headless bodies, flash freezing, burning cabins. It's a lot to dismiss as just bad luck and hungry wolves.
Yeah, the sheer number of incidents in such a specific small area is hard to ignore. And the consistency of certain details, like the decapitations and the fires.
The truth is, we just don't know. It remains one of Canada's greatest and most terrifying unsolved mysteries.
So, think about this as we wrap up. We have multiple clean decapitations, often linked with fire and missing gold. We have bodies found in defensive positions, like reaching for a gun. We have a man flash frozen by a lit fire, looking peaceful. If the official line starvation followed by animals is the whole truth, how do you explain all those specific contradictory details? What single environmental factor in Headless Valley causes experienced prospectors to starve right after finding wealth, only to have animals perform neat decapitations, sometimes after setting the site on fire?
And why did those native tribesmen in 46 specifically warn about white figures trying to scare people away right before the search party heard those terrifying, targeted noises all night? The official explanation just leaves too many chilling questions unanswered.
Until next time, keep digging through the source material.
And maybe stick to well-traveled paths.